What's up, guys? Welcome back to The Educated Barfly. Today we're going to be focusing on the daiquiri, and not just any old daiquiris. We're going to be focusing on some of my absolute favorite daiquiris. Some of these are going to be reshakes from past episodes. Some of them are going to be brand new to you guys. But I really wanted to talk about it because the daiquiri for me is just a source of endless fascination. The daiquiri is very easy to customize, and partially this is because no two rums are alike. There are so many different variations in rum. Rum is probably the most diverse spirit on the planet. On top of that, it is very seasonally dependent because limes change flavor throughout the year. Sometimes they're a little tart, sometimes they're a little bit more sweet. And if you change the ratios of sugar to lime or sugar, lime, and rum, it's going to change the drink very drastically. And this is why in the industry, the daiquiri is one of those drinks that is really the litmus test for the quality of a bartender. There are many, many bartenders that I know that when they're hiring new bartenders and they do what's called a stage shift, which is just a very simple, hour-long shift to make some drinks at the new bar that you possibly be working at to see what your skill level is. The daiquiri is really high on that list of drinks that you have to make. And the way in which you make that daiquiri is a really good indication of your sense of balance and also your knowledge of the drink. And then, of course, the daiquiri is one of the most popular drinks in the industry, so much so that even the Sunken Harbor Club in New York has a brand new Dak Shack, which is a bar dedicated solely to the daiquiri and its many variations. So today, let's make a few daiquiri variations, talk about their history, talk about their flavor profiles, and just enjoy a nice, refreshing drink, even though it's the fall. Maybe some fall flavors will work themselves into these drinks. Who knows? The first cocktail that we're going to be doing is a Hemmingway Daiquiri, otherwise known as the La Florida No. 3 or the Papa Doble. This was a cocktail created by Constantino Rebela-Guavert at the La Florida bar in Havana, Cuba. So the story behind this is that Hemingway was coming into the La Florida to use the bathroom. This is a bar where he was a regular. And on his way out of the bathroom, he noticed a bunch of the La Florida daiquiris, the blended daiquiris on the bar, and he took a sip of it and he said, "Oh, this is really good, but I prefer double the rum and no sugar." And Constantino took that to heart and created the Papa Doble. It is called the Papa Doble because it is a very big daiquiri volume-wise. Over time, those specs have shortened and it's been made into a just regular volume drink. So another thing about Hemingway is that he had an aversion to sugar. A lot of people think that's because he had diabetes, but the real reason was because he was suffering from a genetic disorder called hemochromatosis, which is too much iron in your blood. And that can lead to a lot of different problems, including cancer, cirrhosis of the liver, and of course diabetes. Although Hemingway was a person who had a lot of mental disorders, depression, he was also someone who watched his sugar intake, even though he was drinking a lot of booze, which makes absolutely no sense, but there you have it. That's why he had an aversion to sugar in cocktails, and that's why this cocktail was created with no actual simple syrup to balance it out. Today we're going to be making the regular volume drink, but I promise you I'll put the large volume drink in the description below the video. And then on top of that, just another note is that over time, that larger version also ended up getting a little 2-to-1 simple syrup in there for added balance. Today we're not going to be doing that though. So we're going to be doing just my favorite version of the Hemingway Daiquiri. So first things first, grab your tin and do absolutely nothing with it, and then grab some limes. All right, so first things first, half an ounce of lime juice, 1 ounce of grapefruit juice, 3/4 of an ounce of Maraschino Liqueur, and 1.5 ounces of light rum. We're using Cuban rum for obvious reasons. Fill it in with ice. 8 to 10 second shake. And strain. And then lime wheel. And you can just balance it right there. All right, let's give it a sip. So for a daisy style daiquiri where it's only getting its sugar from the citrus juices and from a liqueur, it's really pretty well balanced. The grapefruit is a little bit sweeter than lime juice, but it also provides this bitterness, which is a nice juxtaposition to the sweet dryness of the Maraschino Liqueur. Of course, you're also tasting the rum in there as well. And it's just a nice, semi-dry, semi-sweet cocktail. Very well balanced for a daisy. So there it is, the Hemingway Daiquiri. All right, the next cocktail that we're doing is Trader Vic's entry into the daiquiri category. It's called the Royal Bermuda Yacht Club. It comes from Trader Vic's Bartender's Guide from 1947, and it is named after the Royal Bermuda Yacht Club, which was a private yacht club in Bermuda that was established in November of 1844. Cocktail time. So 1/2 ounce of lime juice, 1/4 ounce of orange curacao, 1/2 ounce of velvet falernum, and 2 ounces of Demerara rum. Today I am using El Dorado 5-year. Give this the old Leandro shake. We got these tiny little dehydrated limes, and we're just gonna do right on top. Let's take a sip. Very nice. You get all that complexity from the rum. So this is Trader Vic's Tiki-fied Daiquiri, giving it a little bit more tropical flavors with the addition of the falernum, drying it out, adding a little bit more sugar with the orange curacao. Again, this is like a daisy style daiquiri where you're getting all of the sugar from 2 different liqueurs, and then of course a little bit from the lime. And you know, rum is made from sugar, but it's not really like sweet. You get a lot of complexity from the rum, and it's really nicely balanced with the tropical flavors from the falernum and the, you know, kind of dry sweetness of the curacao. It's really nice. It's really nicely balanced. So there it is, the Royal Bermuda Yacht Club. The next cocktail is called the Parasol. This is the daiquiri entry from New York City bar consultant and bartender Shannon Mustafer. And it comes from her book, Tiki Modern Tropical Cocktails. You can find the link for that book below. This is a fantastic drink that everybody loves. I recently bartended a private party and put this in the rotation, and everyone was like, oh, chef's kiss. Not to mention, it has a lot of very, you know, kind of fall-ish flavors that don't rely on pumpkin spice. It doesn't rely on apple, and I'm kind of against those things lately. So let's get into it. So first thing we're gonna do is grab our tin, 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice, and then 3/4 of an ounce of banana liqueur, which might be a little bit difficult for some of you guys to get. So if you cannot find this, you can always find the Giffard. And I actually think the original cocktail was done with the Giffard Banana do Brazil, but this guy tastes like banana bread, and it's gonna make this drink so lovely, and so I wanted to use it. It is also going to change the color from a gold color to sort of a brown color, but that's what we have to do for things that we love. 1/2 ounce of pineapple juice. Well, it calls for white rum. I'm using light rum. I really like the Saison Pale because it is tropically without being overly so. Give this guy a good hard shake. Give this guy a strain. For garnish, we are just gonna do a little nutmeg on top, like so. That is a very efficient zester, let me tell you. It's from Barfly Mixology. You know, this is actually one of their new zesters, and what's really nice about it is that they made a nice wooden handle. It is very sleek and elegant, and I love it. And of course, as you can see from the top of this cocktail, it does a very good zesting job. All right. Oh my God, that is so freaking good. So 3/4 an ounce of lime juice. You get a lot of the tartness of that lime juice. The sugar is coming from the banana and the pineapple and a little bit from the lime juice, and you get that nice banana flavor. Obviously, you get a lot of nutmeg on the first sip, and you get the aromatics of the nutmeg, which really just kind of gives us a nice kind of silver lining flavor to this cocktail. The pineapple is very present, but it's very nicely balanced with that banana liqueur. And then of course, rum choice is gonna play into this. If you use like something like Bacardi, it's gonna give you a nice sharp flavor. The one that we used, which we described earlier, is kind of supporting all of those tropical notes. So there you have it, the Parasol. All right, the next cocktail up is called the Stirred Daiquiri, which is created by a Los Angeles area bartender named Briggs Brown. This is a guy that used to work at the Varnish. I know him personally, although not very well. And what I love about this drink is that it completely plays against expectation. And then there's another thing. There is a lime cordial involved, and a lot of bartenders who create lime cordials, or just any kind of cordials, really make them very difficult to make sometimes, or just very involved. A lot of these cordials, I kind of believe they're really overthought. And what's really nice about this is that the lime cordial here is just an equal 1-to-1 ratio of fresh lime juice and sugar. I used caster sugar because it just dissolves a little bit better, but you can use regular sugar if you want. And this is gonna be stirred, hence Stirred Daiquiri. The other thing about it is that it uses a proprietary sweet vermouth from Lo-Fi, which is here in California. I'm sure it's pretty widely available, but if you can't get it, then, you know, I don't know. It's gonna be difficult to make this drink without it. The first thing we're gonna do is just 1 ounce of our Lo-Fi sweet vermouth, and then 1 ounce of our lime cordial here. And instead of rum, we're gonna be using Plymouth Gin. We're gonna be doing 1 ounce of that. We are going to need a nice elegant glass. And as I like to do, a little hand flavored ice for you, but we're gonna give it a nice crack. Get Get some of those shards in there. So let's give this a guy a stir. Now we're gonna stir this down to equilibrium. It's very hard to stir a cocktail down to over dilution. You could stir this for 2 minutes and it still wouldn't be over diluted, but I don't know. I don't want to say 40 revolutions because then you guys will be like, that was 80, I counted. I don't know. I think I'm so used to stirring now that I just do it automatically at this point. I want to make sure that everything is nicely combined here. And then we'll strain it into our cocktail glass here. And I think I'm going to do a little channel knife, if I can. I don't know, these limes are a little tough to do this with, but we'll see. So of course we know that the juxtaposition of gin and sweet vermouth is going to go very well. There are botanical elements in both the sweet vermouth and the gin, and you can make really nice combinations of those depending on which sweet vermouths and which gin you use. Plymouth is a very specific style of gin that has a nice earthy flavor, but it also has a lot of those citrus elements that I like so much, and of course a strong juniper flavor. The lo-fi also has really nice botanicals in it too, and it also has this nice kind of acidic viscosity, I guess would be the word, that just lends something to this cocktail. But what's really surprising about this is how well the sugar and lime go into this stirred drink. It's like somewhere between a Manhattan martini and a daiquiri. It is like in between all of those things. The flavor really plays against your expectations. It is a completely different texture because it's not shaken. It is a lot more delicate in flavor. You taste all of the nuances of the ingredients, and it is absolutely 100% worth a mix. So go and make this drink. There it is, guys, the Stirred Daiquiri. All right, last daiquiri of the day is just a strawberry pineapple daiquiri that I like to make. I don't know if it's so creative that I could call it my own cocktail, but I didn't get the specs from anywhere else. So here we go. First, we're gonna do 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice, 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup, 1 strawberry. Let's give that the old smashy poo. Just give it a good old muddle. 1/2 ounce of Stiggins Fancy Pineapple Rum, which, if you did not know, was named after a Charles Dickens character from the book Pickwick Papers and is named after Reverend Stiggins, who likes his pineapple rum. Then we're gonna do 1.5 ounces of this Saison Pale. If you cannot find this stuff, you can also use something like Plantation 3-Star, will be pretty good in this cocktail as well. That is my old school Libby 5.5 ounce coupe glass that I used to use in Kohl's all the time. Give this guy a good shake. And if you typically don't double strain your cocktails, you are definitely gonna need to double strain all of the little strawberry bits out of this one. And let's just simplify this garnish, shall we? There we go. Let's take a sip. Nicely balanced, very tart. You get the strawberry vibe. The pineapple rum gives it a very subtle pineapple flavor on the back palate. You get those tropical flavors from the Saison rum. It's all very nicely balanced, nice and tart, strawberry-y, pineapple-y. There you go, the strawberry pineapple daiquiri by yours truly. From Hemingway to Dickens to pineapple to strawberry to banana, I think we've covered a wide variety of daiquiri, and I'm hoping that we've illustrated how versatile the daiquiri template can be. So go out and make your daiquiris, or go out and make these daiquiris, and I'll see you guys in another time.